Welcome to Bleachers and Speakers. I'm your host, June. I got my boy B Foster with us, and it's that time for that my favorite segment, the featured player of the week. As you can see on the screen, you already know who it is about. Without further ado, Foster, do your thing, brother.
All right, our feature player this week is Jared Goff. We've been through almost all the offensive weapons, and I thought to myself, how do we forget Jared Goff? But he is originally out of California. He's out of a city named Novato, California, which is actually only 30 minutes from San Francisco, ironically. He wears number 16 to honor Joe Montana. Crazy, crazy. But yes, he had a prolific high school career. He went 39-4. He played in the playoffs three different times, and he had one state title appearance. Eventually he would end up going to California, where he went and set 26 records,
Mm,
including yards per game, touchdown passes, completions. He was second to only Aaron Rodgers in passing efficiency. Aaron Rodgers also went to California. So after all that, he was projected to go either number two to Cleveland or number seven to San Francisco. But he would eventually go number one overall. Uh, he was able to up his stock based on the drills he did pre-draft, and he actually got a number 30. He got 36 in the Wonderlic, which is a intelligence test that they often use for quarterbacks. Fun fact: Brett Favre got a 22 in the Wonderlic, which is
mm,
lower than Jared Goff. So maybe not the most standardized test smart guy, but obviously a very good quarterback. The highest being Ryan Fitzpatrick, but he went to Harvard, so what would you expect?
right.
But so, anyways, Jared Goff coming out of college, pretty prototypical pocket passer, 6'4", 215 pounds, accurate passer. He can make all the throws, quality arm, and he does a good job of throwing his receivers open. As far as the things that people were concerned about, he did have some accuracy issues, and they were concerned that he might be a system guy. He ran 99% of his snaps out of the pistol and shotgun, and they thought that maybe he would have issues with his footwork under center. Obviously, playing back in shotgun and receiving a snap out of center is two totally different things. So that was one of their concerns. He also was sacked a lot in college. He was sacked 81 times, and he had fumble issues. He fumbled the ball 24 times in 3 years. So um, there were some questions there, but he ended up going number one overall to the LA Rams, and it wasn't until halfway through his first year he actually became starter. And that first year they had a pretty rough year. They went 4-12. The second year he took off. In 2017, he was a Pro Bowl replacement. They made a playoff appearance, and it was their first time going to the playoffs in 14 years. It was also their first time winning the division since 2003. So he came right in, his first full year and brought him to the playoffs. In his second year, 2018, they went to the Super Bowl. He was the youngest. He was the youngest quarterback to ever play in an NFC Championship game, and in his second full year, took them all the way to the Super Bowl. They would eventually lose to Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. So, from the point of the Super Bowl situation to the conclusion of his career in the Rams, he kind of went on a decline, but not before he got a contract extension in 2018, no, 2019, which was a NFL record up until when Patrick Mahomes broke that record. I think it was 4 years, 120 million. So so yeah, he got the extension after the the Super Bowl appearance. So that the year the other extension, they went 9-7 and they didn't make the playoffs. So this is the beginning of the decline. 2020 was his last year with the Rams, and a decent year. He got injured in the last game of the year. He injured his finger, and he was actually going into the playoffs the backup quarterback. The starting quarterback was John Wolford, I believe. John Wolford, but eventually injured his neck, and Jared Goff will come into the game in that playoff game. They lose. In the offseason, 2021, he was traded for Matt Stafford. We all know everything that encompassed that as far as the amount of draft picks and all that. But he would be eventually traded for Stafford, and this is only 2 or 3 years removed from his playoff appearance in his second full year of action. So his first year in Detroit, the rebuild begins, and they go 3-13-1. Pretty rough year. Somewhat familiar to his first year as a rookie. In 2022, we're familiar. They bounce back. We nearly make the playoffs. We go 9-8, and we miss the playoffs based upon one game. And we start to see that development. We start to see what could possibly be a complete turnaround to his career. Amon-Ra St. Brown comes into the fold. Josh Reynolds comes into the fold. Jamal Williams. We start to see the development of a team that could possibly be a playoff contender, a possible Super Bowl contender, led by Jared Goff. Now, fast forward to 2023, the season is still going. He's led us to a NFC Championship game, and he could possibly end up being in the Super Bowl again. Um, Overall, Jared Goff is, they would consider him to be a game manager, but he gets the job done. Not very mobile, but like I said, he's able to make all the throws, and he's a winner. He's proven that he can win the big games at home, on the road, and here we are again. And he has a possible. He's one game away from the Super Bowl, and he's up for another extension. And it's kind of hard to it's kind of hard to say that he hasn't justified to get pretty much whatever he's asked for at this point, because he's probably going to go down as the best Lions quarterback of all time, just based off of the accomplishments that he's got, with more yet to prove. Overall in his career, he's a three-time Pro Bowler, and he actually has a record of the most completions in one game, and he's tied with Drew Bledsoe, and I think that was like 46 completions, 45
Right.
completions. So solid career, still got a lot of work to do in this season, and Jared Goff, like Cam Newton was saying yesterday, like I saw Cam Newton said, he was kind of thrown to the pack when he was traded away from the LA Rams, and now he's leading the pack. So he's been able to um, he's been able to make some history. He beat his old team in the first game of the playoffs, the LA Rams, and he's got an opportunity to beat his hometown team that he grew up rooting for, the San Francisco 49ers. So we will see where he goes from here, but um, he's fought through a lot of scrutiny, and a lot of people um, didn't believe that he would be able to accomplish what he's accomplished, but he's still here. And that's Jared Goff.
Let's give Mr. Ironman the good old Lions roar. I call him Iron Man because he has not missed a snap, and uh, he whether you approve of golf or not, he's been to work every day. So let me ask you this before we get out of here, Foster. Do you think just a shot in the dark? Do you think he gets the extension and the raise, or what? What's your gut tell you about his next contract?
Well, I truly believe that he has a good opportunity, because I really feel like he's at this point he's continuing to build his resume, and he's got an opportunity to win it all.
Yeah.
But at this point, at this point, the Lions' hands are kind of tied. Like, depending on, especially the way the season concludes, like, they
Yeah.
would look kind of crazy doing anything else.
I think there's one way where they could not possibly deny, and that's getting to the Super Bowl. If
Yeah,
he gets to the Super Bowl, whether he wins or not, or if he has a very, very good game versus Frisco,
right.
uh, and whether the season ends on that note or not, if he goes out and plays well, I don't think they can deny it. So,
Hands are tied.
yeah, we'll see. Well, salute to Jared Goff and the Lions. Thank you again, Foster. You, this has been a very, very well detailed profile. I'm going to watch it again myself. So even though I'm on the show, I'm going to watch it. So
Right.
tune in to Bleachers and Speakers. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check us out on Motor City Metrics. Me and B Foster.